Hello everybody and welcome to not a series, but a little mini thing that I'm going to be doing for the week. I am, as many of you know, I like making little models, not just maps, but I like making little battlefields or whatever. So I'm not the best at it, but I'm going to hopefully get better at it over the next few days. And I thought I'd just record myself working on them, just to show off, so any of y'all can follow along if you want. It'll be sort of a tutorial, sort of fun. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a CATAN board, so all the hexagons are just going to replace the CATAN pieces and just make 3D CATAN. I've got all the pieces I need written down right here. I'm going to be making all of these. And this video right here is just going to be a summary of everything you're going to need for this project. So, first off, the usual, you're going to need a plate just to mix some paints, which is the more complicated stuff in a minute, but you're going to want a bunch of paint. You're going to want a blue. I don't have a watery blue, so I also have this white, brown, well, if you can get your hands on it, tan. You're going to need a lot of white for this project, and then black and green. I've got glue over here, scissors, some water, 3 different sized paint brushes. Over here I have a few knives and X-Acto blades. And now for the more specialty items that you're going to need to order online or stop by your local craft store, let's start with this. I have this grass I got from Hobby Lobby, and it was a giant thing, $9. And I've hardly used any of it because you need so little of it. So that's going to keep me going for the next decade. You need some flock, I believe that's what this is called, just to create bushes or trees. You know, it's very simple. And over here, this is only needed if you're doing the CATAN board. I'm gonna do some other example ones, so you don't need this stuff unless if you think you need it. But I have a slightly different color green for turf. This is a lighter green. It's hard to tell from the camera, but in real life, this is a lot lighter. I have some straw here, yellow long grass. I'm going to use that to make the wheat fields. Some little landscape rocks. Oh, drop that. Landscape rocks. And then ballast, which it looks really gray, but in real life it's more of a red. So I'm going to be using this for the brick. You're going to need newspaper or parchment paper or whatever else you want on the ground. And then you're going to need these hexagons. Also a little bit of water, you know, just to drink. These hexagons are what got me into modeling. They're really easy. I've got 3 different sizes here. I have my 1/4-inch gaming hexes for the coastlines. I have my 1/2-inch hexes. You're going to be using those the most. And I have, I believe these are inch-thick hexes, which I'm not going to be using as much. These are from the last order I got. These are completely new. And then over here, this is the book that you get if you order from the website that produces this. These are GHQ, Terrain Maker. They're $16 a pack, and they're really worth it, I would say. For just a starter model building, I recommend getting 2 of the 1/2 inches and 1 of the 1/4 inches. The full inches, I didn't really use that much in my other model, but then again, it was mostly flat. So if you're thinking about doing something with a lot of hills, do those. But if you're doing something that's relatively flat, doesn't have a ton of hills, I recommend just those 3. In here, this is basically just an ad to get you to buy more things here. But at the very back, it has some very helpful instructions on how to do what we're doing and how to paint some other things, you know, bunch of good stuff. There also comes instructions in these, so you get a couple different forms of instructions here. And then in here, you don't just get hexagons, you get these, which we will be turning into pine trees later in the book. No. Later in my production. So, and you're gonna need a paper towel or 2, just, you know, for the water to clean up. But yeah, that's everything you're gonna need right there. And yeah, I'm hoping to be able to complete this project by the end of the week, and I'm hoping that y'all will be able to watch me do it. But yeah, if you want to follow along, buy all of these materials or find some supplements. The only things that you really need are these, some paint, and a little bit of flock. Everything else is really just optional. I mean, you need a knife of some sort, but you can use a scissors if you really want. So yeah, if you really want to go bare bones, that. It's all you need. Overall, the project that I'm doing probably costs... I'm not going to be using all these, but the project I'm doing will probably cost me about $30 maximum. The project I'm doing afterwards with my remnants will probably cost more, just because I'm doing it on a much bigger scale. But yeah, it's relatively cheap, I would say. And I mean, I found all that paint at the dollar store. Newspaper, you can get it out of the trash for free. Most expensive stuff is the hexagons, maybe the flock, but the flock is worth it. One thing that I don't have on me that you might need, I don't need it because I'm making a CATAN board, so it's going to move around, whatever. But if you're making a full-on field, you know, for battlefield or wargaming, you're going to need a giant, like, piece of cardboard to lay it down. I use poster board that I buy from the dollar store, just because it looks a little better. But yeah, that's it. So yeah, hope y'all can follow along with me. And that's it for the supply video.